Tonight, a KGW investigation. You've heard about the shootings, the murders, and the communities affected by gang violence in our area. But what's funding it? How are gangs making their money?
If you guessed drugs, that would be appropriate, but you're wrong. Catherine Cook has been investigating this for months. And Catherine, you've uncovered a deepening connection between gangs and prostitution.
And Tracy, what began as a gang connection has quickly and discreetly turned into gang domination of Portland's sex trafficking industry. Police say that nearly every pimp they deal with has some kind of a gang connection, and the money they're making off teenage girls is pouring in from Lake Oswego to Gresham, where suburban Johns have no idea they are paying for the guns on our streets.
Lay dying on Northeast 18th Avenue. Do-rag shot by Bloods.
And Portland had a serious gang problem.
Gangs in Portland are nothing new.
Someone shot and killed.
More shootings.
It's a little unnerving.
Decades of shootings, tears, retaliation. On the surface, nothing's changed. But go underground.
It's a big problem.
And you'll see.
Sex sells.
Where drug sales once funded gangs.
Gang members have come to realize there's a lot of money to be made in prostitution.
And police say they're making it in the millions.
That's how they buy guns. That's how they buy cars.
Sarah, not her real name, is a gang-affiliated prostitute.
It's an underground society.
We've disguised her voice and identity to protect her. She doesn't have a pimp now, but she knows how they work.
They're smart, and they're usually cute and charming.
She wants to expose what they're doing.
Women get raped, beaten, dragged. I mean, even just like if another pimp talks to you and you don't put your head down, you're considered out of pocket. That's part of the game, though. You're not considered a person anymore. You're considered property.
Mafia is the pimp's name. Loyalty to the game, loyalty to prostitution, loyalty to the pimp.
Officer Mike Gallagher is with the Portland Police Bureau's prostitution coordination team.
It's not, pretty women out there like it is in the movies. It's pretty horrific.
He says young victims of prostitution are brainwashed, vulnerable, and see their gang member pimps as boyfriends.
I know of pimps that are, 17, 18 years old that are out there recruiting now.
He says many victims wear these branding tattoos with pride.
Every time you look in the mirror, you're seeing that name, and it reminds you that you're property of whatever that pimp is that you're working for.
Gallagher says the connection between gangs and prostitution is new, destructive, and relatively unknown.
Traffickers, pimps.
He says nearly every convicted pimp on this wall has a gang tie.
I didn't see it 15 years ago.
Back then, Gallagher says gang members were still trading money and drugs on street corners. But things changed.
Drugs are getting expensive. You have to spend money to make money. Prostitution is, you don't have to spend anything.
Pimps see their victims as cheap collateral. As for the Johns who paid them for sex, police say they're often married professionals, unarmed, and the last people police say would want to draw attention. In short, they're the perfect marks who don't realize or care where their money is really going.
As long as he got what he wanted and he's satisfied, what does he care what? If the money he just gave to this girl goes and buys a gun and is connected to a homicide.
And police say that's exactly what's happening.
I think the violence is going to pick up.
And it doesn't stop on 82nd Avenue or online.
It's not a Portland thing. It's Lake Oswego, it's Tigard, it's Vancouver, it's Salem, it's Eugene. And the gangs are involved in all of that.
But now their secret is out. So what are the gangs doing with all that money they're making? Well, police say there are more guns on our streets now than there have been in the last 10 years, and they are not always easy or safe to find. We saw that firsthand. Join us for an exclusive all-access look at the gang enforcement team as they go after those guns on our streets. That's tomorrow at 6 and 11.
Tonight, our KGW investigation revealing the inner workings of violent gangs in the metro area. In a big shift, gang members are leaving the drug trade to take over Portland's sex trafficking industry. Police say they're making millions off teenage victims and using that money to buy more guns. The night team's Catherine Cook has an exclusive look at what Portland's gang enforcement team is doing to get those guns off the street.
We watched things go from calm to alarming in a matter of seconds when police found a gun. It was hidden from plain sight, but within arm's reach of any number of scenarios. To us, it was a pretty scary moment, but for police, it's what they've come to expect, knowing what's at stake if they don't.
Todd, it's right there on that truck tire. Pat everybody down. Everybody gets patted down. Stop what you're doing. Put your hands up back here, right there, and lift your fingers. 1650. We'll take one more car. We got a gun here in the parking lot. Someone did.
On average, the Portland Police Bureau's gang enforcement
61.
team seizes one gun per week.
There's one right here.
But they know there are a lot more
There's
out
a loaded
there
gun over
falling
there.
into the wrong hands.
How you doing, sir? What's up, Mr. Seeger? What's new, man? I haven't seen you forever.
It's one reason why officers spend hours patrolling the streets every day,
Anything in the car you need to be concerned about?
making contacts,
You know why I stopped you?
never knowing exactly what they'll find.
Listen, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in court of law.
On this night, a young man is handcuffed
Off the record.
outside these apartments near 162nd and Burnside.
I'm gonna detain you for now.
Minutes earlier, Officer Charlie Asheim just dropped by, following his instincts.
What's going on, guys? What do you know here? Do you know somebody here? Barbecue? All right, all right.
For police, walkthroughs like this are typical. The Bureau even has a signed trespass agreement with this apartment complex, meaning officers have authority to arrest people who don't belong on property. None of these guys actually lives here.
People who live in that complex that want to feel safe, that's what they expect us to do. And they expect us to get out and contact people that make them feel unsafe, and tonight it was the right thing to do because there was a gun there.
A loaded .38 revolver.
To us, in gang enforcement, it's our bread and butter, getting that gun off the street.
Officers say they aren't surprised when they find guns. It's what they've come to expect in situations like this. Police say to a gang member, having a gun is having power. It's how they live and how they die.
If someone else comes in there, maybe it's going to be a fist fight if nobody has a gun. But when they have guns, that guy's a split second away from taking someone's life.
Police say when guns are on the street, they're a commodity and rarely thrown away. Instead, they're traded and sold after being used in violent crimes. Investigators say that makes tracing a gun's origin and history tough. Those caught with them don't usually give that up.
You don't know anything about that?
Most definitely not.
You're telling me your prints, your DNA wouldn't be on that gun?
No.
Police charge this man with unlawful possession of a firearm, a misdemeanor because he's not a felon. He's awaiting trial now. In the meantime, there's one less gun on the street. One less gun to be shared, one less bullet, police worry,
We could easily walk into that.
could hit an innocent victim.
It could be used against us or someone else also.
Most guns seized by police never see the street again. Those that aren't reported stolen are melted down and destroyed. The gang enforcement team often faces challenges when trying to solve violent crimes. Sometimes that includes lack of cooperation from the community. To learn more about that and to catch up on our story from yesterday, just visit kgw.com.